everyone. Welcome to Cosmic Insight. Happy Friday. It's just Megan and I here tonight holding down the fort while Hillis is off having his grand adventure he's been waiting for forever. So sending so much love to him right now while he's enjoying himself and giving some self-love at his concert. So I want to welcome everyone for joining us this evening. And Megan, thank you for pitching in and continue to stay on with us as we plug along. I hope I hit the broadcast right this time because I'm always fubbing that up, trying to work all this electronic stuff. But anyway, so I guess we're live. So we'll just keep on going.
Looks like it. Looks like it usually does back here.
Awesome. So how's your world going this week, Megan? Is anything coming out that you'd like to get started? We were just actually talking before we got cut off because we had to start talking about nature. So why don't we start bringing that in, talking about nature and how important it is on so many aspects and levels right now as we're moving in this time.
Yeah, my week has actually had a lot of nature, which has been really fantastic. I've been able to get out for chunks of time, like 3 times this week. I actually had this really beautiful experience. I guess that was Monday. I went to the park here in Pittsburgh, Frick Park, and there's some running water and rocks that you can sit on. And so I had some rapé with like this symphony of nature, just really going into like all of the layers of water and birds and earth and leaves and the wind and so on. So yeah, nature is obviously we're living amongst a lot of change and a lot of shifting. This is, our own energetic bodies and capacities. And as we look out on the world and see what's going on in our communities, our states, our country, our world, it's pretty static, a lot of moving pieces. And so seems really important right now to really make sure to make space to socks and shoes off, feet on the earth, really tune into that electromagnetic frequency that Mama offers to help with the grounding of living amongst all of this sort of airy vata swirling right now. So, and sun, getting sun is always important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I totally agree with you right now. There is a lot of swirling energy happening and a lot of light rays coming out, and people are moving up in different vibration levels. And it's just, it is just a swirl of chaotic clarity. I guess that's the best way to put it. And
Yeah.
going back to the nature, I really wanted to bring up is very important, not only for us to physically get out in Mother Nature and put our feet on the ground and all that, but also how can you open up and serve to give back to Mother Nature right now at another level? Whether planting springs coming around, what can you plant to give back to her? Because, she's at the point now where she's had enough of us. I mean, look what's going on in the world, the floods in Miami right now, and, and everything going on with the world. I really feel Mother Nature's just had enough of our nonsense. It really
Yeah.
has. And it's time for us to take the responsibility at a whole nother level to give back to her at whatever capacity you can, or whatever that might be. Even just walking down the street and picking up garbage. You see a piece of garbage, just pick it up. It doesn't have to be some great, I always feel like people always get when they do something or have to serve. I don't know if you feel this way. Sometimes everybody feels like it has to be like this grandiose thing, or they can't do it, and
Yeah.
but really right now, life is kind of, I feel, scrolling back to the simplicity of everything that we do, that we have in our world, that we experience in our world, to get back to the simplicity of life, which when you can get back to the simplicity of life, I personally feel that gets you back to the gratitude of everything around you.
I've been talking a lot lately about, which just means that it's resonant for me. I'm seeing it in patterns. I
Mhm.
definitely am a pattern reader, but talking about the point in the middle of the circle, right? Like it is the astrological symbol for the sun. This shows up in sacred geometry in so
Mhm.
many of our ancient cultures, but like what that really means, to have the point in the middle of the circle to me is it is true source, and that is what it represents. But I
Yeah.
think to follow that thread a moment longer, the point in the center of the circle to me is efficiency, is pinpoint accuracy, is one pointed focus. That this has come up a couple times in conversation recently, and I've compared it to, I was very blessed last year to spend some time in Guatemala for
Hmm.
with the Mayan community right around Lake Atitlan. And, we had done things like the Mayan yoni steaming and womb massage, where they rub the abdomen, and the tobacco readings with the, Nana or Tata, which is just an older man or woman that's accepted their mission in the community. They call them Nanas and Tatas. Um, and I remember my initial inclination after doing those sessions with them. They were short. They were very short sessions.
Exactly.
Um, exactly. I was like, dang, I'm inclined to feel disappointed because it was short. And I shared that with one of the women on the trip. She said, yeah, but Megan, you're like, they don't need 90 minutes. We only do that in the West because we're accustomed to like floofing it and filling that space. They only need 10 minutes with you. And I noticed as I ate my lunch after the abdominal massage, like, wow, I was having a lot of womb cramping and activity. So they were just so efficient with being able to see your energy body and your needs. They didn't have to do this flat circle. They went right to the middle. And I love that. And it does seem very important right now, that simplicity that you're speaking of, because everything's so energetically demanding as we make our way through this construct. How can we conserve energy efficiency, right?
Exactly.
Becoming very acquainted with the point in the middle of the circle. So I love that. And of course, nature, right? It's very dynamic and very complex in ways. It's also the most simple thing around. So I'm not surprised that the two overlap right now.
Oh my God. So love you bring that up because that's actually been, with the sound that I do, I know it's laser sharp like that. And people, but it's like, sometimes I get stuck in my head. Oh, how can I stretch this out? Because for that same thing, it's like, thank you for bringing that up because sometimes like we don't need to stretch it out anymore because the energy right now you can zoom right in. If you can be in that space, you can zoom right in and it's done. It
Yeah.
doesn't need, but it's so interesting how I want to, it kind of all wraps around this addiction that we have to time.
Oh, I have been, I am sitting with time right now in such an interesting way. I'm really, um, pardon my language, I'm really mind fucked lately that I'm 36 years old, right? And
Yeah,
I keep playing with this number and I'm like, 36, close to 40. Why do I feel 14, right? And like, it's like I can't, I don't know. There's this thing going on with linear time right now, and I personally love it because I'm a manifesting generator. I'm here to show people that
hmm,
linear time doesn't exist and we don't have to do
doesn't.
this game of,
It does.
because it isn't that. And so we get to
No,
be as kind of like chaotic as we want. I can read as many books at one time as I want to, and that's okay because
exactly.
linear time doesn't exist. So I don't need to read a book in a linear way.
Exactly, exactly, and I think that's why people are having such troubles now, or challenges right now because that is separating. We are
Yeah,
detaching from that so
it's
we
too
can
wild.
function. It's too wild and function from where we are to function in that space of alignment to, and what did Susie say right here? Rebecca, you zoomed right in with me and it took several minutes. The results were, oh, she was telling me when I did her thing. Uh,
Hmm.
um, anyway, I was in another time. Oh, Rebecca, you zoomed right in with me, and it took several minutes. The results were amazing, for which I'm grateful for. I love you, sister. Love you too, Susie, and so much
Hmm.
gratitude. But I love this, and going back to that, addiction to time. How much, I haven't worn a watch. I can't even tell you. Last time I had a watcher, it's just it's so cool when you can. It's learning, what am I trying to think? Oh, just flowing with where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do and that
Yeah.
energy of that what that is and not being attached to that construct and those belief systems around I have to be on time, I have to be the so um
I want that
like
for everybody. That
I always
freedom.
love the phrase. What did I always say? Fashionably on time. So when I was late,
Mhm.
according to linear, I was fashionably when I was supposed to be there. So I love fashionably on time.
I love that. Sweet perfection.
Yes, yes. It's so fun when you can start to play with these energies and like, because that's, I mean, granted, Dolores Cannon always said, why are we here? We are here basically to learn how to manipulate energy
Yeah. And to play. I
and
mean,
to play and
when
have
you
fun.
follow all of the traditions eventually wind up at play.
Yeah, exactly. And what do? We get so serious and so like stuck in like all the nonsense.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, is it?
We've really, yeah, it. Ooh, this is, how much time do we have for this one? This sparks,
There is
this
no
is
time, Megan.
exactly right. We could be here all night. And I mean, I have all night, so we could. This is a subject that really, this will throw a lot of wood on my fire because um we've agreed upon a reality to be truth that is so violent. It's violent. It's violence. And it robs the vast majority
Mhm.
of even having the ability and the opportunity to have freedom, to experience freedom, to not need a watch, to have the availability of their time and their money resources to experience self and play and have the space to figure it out. So, you know, of course, we all have our individual work to do, and people do work in all kinds of environments and find beautiful space and enlightenment and so on. However, like, we got a lot to fight off the bat just to even create the space to explore play in this life. And it's such a disservice to actual humanity. And that upsets me.
Just play in it. It's part of the play, and in saying I love how you say that because it's so true, how we live in this, everything that's going on in the world. And it's like, where can we take ourselves now? Because we're out of that when you can live out of that space of time and the duality of everything that's right now and take yourself to remove yourself from it, but yet be part of it as what is that saying? As the world.
uh
Susie will let us know. As
of
the
the
world but not
world, but
of it.
not
Of the world but
in.
not of it, or you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
in
about.
the world, but
In the
not of
world but not
it.
of it. Yeah, kind of
That
stay in
one
that
always gets
space.
me for some reason.
Yeah, but to be in that space, of play, because that's so important. And we've got ourselves in so like everything has to be so serious all the time, and everybody has to judge everyone if they do something that's not the rule or what's been followed by people and have their opinions. And it's just open up that space to play and let everybody be in their own space to
Yeah,
create what they want to create. And but we're just so in this like all the
it's
time.
it's toyed out here.
It is. It
Be
is. How do
those
you?
those
I mean, I'll tell you.
nervines.
I was telling you earlier before we got on. This week, I really feel, and I want to really express, people out there that might be struggling right now. The energies, people are always on different levels of what's going on, and there's been a lot of downloads coming in, a lot of newness coming in right now, and new energies coming in that I feel like we're all kind of like babies right now in that we're learning to like be, we're learning like it's a do-over. Like basically it's kind of like a do-over in the energies that play. But in saying that, we also got that old stuff that's still going on. And that old stuff we still are kind of not fighting against, but moving out of. But then there's a space in between that I feel a lot of people are living in right now is I'm just going to call it the void in the in-between spaces where like they see what's happening of the old, but they don't really understand what's happening moving into this new energy or what this new energy even is, or how do I create from it, or how do I be with it, or do I really like this anymore, or how do I act about this, or how do I do, this whole like crazy inner connection is going on right now within everyone. I was telling you Monday, was it Monday? I don't know what day it was, but I literally like just all this stuff came up and I had a complete like meltdown where I was just like saying these things to myself. And I remember David looking at me, why are you saying stuff like that? I'm like, because I'm getting it out of my system. because it's got to go. It was locked down there somewhere and it's raveling out, and I'm just going to let it all go out, because it
Yeah.
needs to get out of me. It no longer serves me and needs to be gone. And I allow myself, and I've talked to, actually, Hillis had the same kind of thing happen. I talked to about 4 or 5 other people that had the same thing. So if you're going through that experience right now, just allow yourself to express whatever's coming up, to know that is the old that's going away. You don't need to, it doesn't serve you anymore. And just let it go, let it come out, give it a voice, and move on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to say about that?
Don't push up against it.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, like, damn, every time I resist, whether it be just like life, whether it be I'm in a ceremony, right? And I'm getting like the therapeutic tremor and I want it to stop. So I try to like resist and shut it down, right? Like, oh, anytime I just create that tension in life about a thing or whatever, it's just such fruitless energy. So, whatever is coming up, your little meltdowns, don't push up against it. Just let it
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. They're kind of fun. You kind of go back to a little kid and you like and throw a little big old hissy fit.
Get a little temper tantrum out of it. I mean, yeah, I'm certainly not advocating for us all rolling around all the time, but sometimes,
No.
like, yeah, you got to
But,
get that out,
but
and then like shake it off and be like, all right, word. Now that we got that
yes.
energy out, let's get back in the
Yep.
game. And
How can I play? What can I create now? And it opens up space. Once you can let all that out and you're not resisting it, it opens up this space to give you that space to create something else. And then you're sitting there, okay, what do I do now? Because I think a lot of people are going through that right now too. Because I find, my own personal and other people, I hear, they're like, what's going on now? Like, do I still want to continue with my job? Or what am I supposed to do now? Or it's just like this whole newness of people really like ramping up to a whole nother level of them. Are you finding that? Oh, I want to pop up real quick. Susie says, being in the world of and not of it. Thank you, Susie. It is a powerful message, and once understood, it sets us free.
hmm
Hallelujah to that. Okay.
hmm Um, yeah, I think to your question, yeah, I'm definitely finding that in my life. Seems like, I just went out away for a couple weeks and dipped in with some family and some friends and left with a job and an apartment here in Pittsburgh. I had no intention of leaving and came home with no job and not intending to stay here in Pittsburgh because like some roads just opened, right?
Mhm.
And so like it's rapid. It's gonna be a fairly, I'm gonna have 2 months to like wrap it up here. And that'll be perfect and great. But yeah, there's these rapid shifts, and I'm trying to do exactly what we're advocating here for with everybody else, which is just to allow it and to whenever my mind wants to do that clinging thing or create stories or scenarios, just reminding it what's real in this moment and what is not, and connecting with nature and making sure that I'm staying grounded through what feels like sort of a scary moment. But yeah, it's just seeming very quick moving, and I'm noticing that pattern with others in life, whether it be location shifts or whether it be energy shifts, or mindset belief limiting belief type shifts, that like these big things are happening quite quickly. So I'm certainly finding that in this moment in life. Interestingly, I'm grateful because as I evaluate that in this moment, to think that the week that I've been home, since I got home the evening of Easter, um, has been very calm and has felt very full of ease. And so I'm grateful that I've been able to rest
Mm.
into that, where previous versions of self would have just been starting to stew on, like, I'm going to leave my home.
How beautiful is that? And what a shift in that. And I love that you bring that up because it's so true right now. How things are moving very fast and happening very fast. And also how we really have to be vulnerable right now and allow the flow of the energies and how we're being yanked from situations that no longer serve us. And the universe is like, okay, we've given you time, but now it's time to move on. So we're just going to make this happen for you, to push
Yeah.
you into that space where we might have had resistance in the past. And right now, it's just we really just have to surrender as everything unwinds, especially if you're in the energies, to know how and be able to do that. Because the more we can surrender and open, the more we're helping to assist the world. Do you have a friend?
I was seeing if my notebook was around, but it's on the table over there, so I won't. But I wrote down some. I was listening to this podcast, well, not a podcast, lecture, by I think a gentleman I've mentioned here a couple times, Dale Allen Hoffman, who is an
Uh-huh.
Aramaic scholar, and it's called "Awakening the Christ Within." And
Hmm.
he had some beautiful quotes in it about surrender. And I know that that's a difficult thing for us in the Western world. We hear the word surrender and kind of clench up a bit, but that's it. That's the name of the game right now. You said the key word, surrender.
Exactly. Exactly. We have to surrender on so many different, and it's a whole new level of surrender. It's not, and that's the thing people need to understand. And I feel, from what I've been going through with my journey and everything, it's like um, everything's at a new level.
Excuse me.
Bless you. It's
Spring
all good.
allergies are at a new level
It's
too.
all good. Everything's at a new level right now. I feel it's like the surrender from the in the past is a total different surrender now. I haven't quite figured it all out, but I'm feeling the energy of it. Like everything that was and how we used to do everything is totally changing. So surrendering is at a whole different level, but it's also simpler
Yeah. I
in a
mean,
way.
this go round, for I can only speak of my personal experience, certainly, but this go round at surrender is feeling easier for me in that, like,
Yeah.
as much as this wants to step forward with reasons to be sad or people I'll miss or things
Yeah.
I'll miss, here knows that this is just the next progression and that I
Exactly.
just truly have, it's just this knowing in my body that this time it has to be this open palmed surrender, whereas
Mhm.
usually I white knuckle it for a long time and make it spirit really call. And so, right, like, it is feeling easier to approach in that manner. And I do think that those that are willing to bring it to the fire and just say, like, I completely release, I completely crush my fantasies of how this life is supposed to be, and I humbly walk behind you in what you set forth for me. I think the people that are able to do that will really be, I don't want to say generously rewarded. It's not a game of that. I think that they will be granted an inner fortitude that will be very useful as we move forward into whatever's next as a collective.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. As I
Yeah.
always say, we're in hope right now, which means to me honoring our own personal evolution.
Mm. Over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. Oh, here, wait a minute. Susie's chiming in. We'll read Susie tonight. We have programmed to stop ourselves being who we truly are, and it's so beautiful seeing more and more beautiful souls realizing that and truly blossoming into their true selves. Oh, thank you for that, Susie. That's awesome and so true. It is fun watching people bloom right now, especially people you didn't think would bloom, where we're like
Yeah.
stuck, and all of a sudden they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And
Are
you've
you
been
having some of that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love a
I've been
good shocker.
noticing some people. Yeah. So it's yeah. It's all good stuff. It's it has been interesting.
Hmm. So
Interesting,
much.
but it's all good. It's all good.
What have you been finding are some of your favorite ways to play the game of, like, the tuning into nature?
My favorite ways, I live on the water, just like going outside and just, and just sitting in nature, putting my feet in the pool and just closing my eyes and just feeling and just being, taking walks at the parks. today I went and met a friend and we sat underneath the tree in the grass, and it was real grass. It wasn't Florida grass, and it was really nice because the grass
Mm.
down here is not very nice, most of it. So that was nice sitting on the tree, just grounding in. But I did have a really interesting experience, and it wasn't in nature.
Hmm.
But it was around, I started seeing, as I told you, I started seeing a chiropractor for, to finish this healing with everything. And they took an x-ray. And I'm in this room, and it's just like you stand against it. It's just in a little room, small room. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, all of a sudden, like, I don't know, he hadn't even turned it on yet. I could feel all the energy of this machine. And I'm
Oh
like
wow.
sitting there, my body's coming out, and I'm like moving with this room. The whole freaking room starts to move. And I'm like, I'm in, what space I'm talking about. I'm in this space, and I'm like, okay, the whole room's moving right now. He's like, what? I said, I'm in tune with nature right now. I know.
I know what's happening. Just let me breathe through this.
I know what's happening right now, but it was so interesting being up against a machine, and I went right down and tapped into Mother Nature, who came right through me,
Wow.
and so it's like, so I guess what I'm trying to say here is sometimes being in nature right now, we have the capability of being in nature when we're not in nature.
Yeah.
And to remember that, for those people that maybe live into the city, or, that don't have the opportunity to get outside or whatever, we are energetic beings, and that those energy, those feelers go beyond the constructs that man has made, the buildings, the hard, so just remember that you can imagine yourself anywhere you want to be, and
Mm-hmm.
tap into nature anywhere you want to, just by settling into that space and allowing to receive the energy in your beingness.
Mm. I'm thinking of there's a there's a gentleman named Brian. If you utilize Instagram, that's where I know him from. It's Bio Temple Earth. Exactly as it sounds, it's spelled Bio Temple
Mhm.
Earth. But if you click the link that he has in his bio, um, he makes these beautiful meditations that are straight into nature, right into the sun, or takes you as though you're the mycelial network,
Network.
as you are the plant, takes you into like really just powerful. And if you have a hard time visualizing on your own, I'm thinking of some of the meditations I've done of Brian's, and they have been right into nature. He's very good at what he does with that. So that might be a good resource for
Oh,
those
thank you
that,
for sharing that. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Because, yeah, I think of people, they always think they have to go into nature to be in nature. We can travel anywhere. We really can. Joe, it's just opening up to receive that and allowing yourself to go, and you can have amazing journeys, medicine or not.
I've had some really beautiful moments recently where I've been laying in that moment between wake and sleep.
That's my
And
favorite time.
dude, I have the best experiences in that
Me
moment.
too.
But recently, there's been a couple that have opened up. It's been very iboga, like the way that how like the way
Yeah,
the stars will just pop in on you like a perfect starry night sky, like eyes
I
closed, bandana on, bang, it's like you're out in the cosmos. It's been that, and I'm like, oh, I see all the stars perfectly. This is amazing, great. Like I don't even need to be there.
I can relate
So
to that.
yeah,
I do those experiences too.
it's extra available. It's happened a lot over the past like month and a half, I'd say.
Awesome. How cool
Hmm.
is that? Well, I guess, what time is it? I guess we see, Hillis usually takes care of this. I just ramble on.
Yep. Let's see, 29 minutes and
29,
25
29.
seconds we've
Well, I
been.
do have some announcements to make, or a couple of announcements. We'll do that, and then we'll do some kind of tune up. What kind of tune up do you want to do tonight?
I don't know.
Should we draw a card and I do some sound, or
Yes,
yes?
we should.
Okay, I think that sounds good. I got a card too. We can maybe both draw a card, because you always got to draw a card if you have cards nearby.
If
So,
I'm gonna draw a card, it's gonna be the unicorn deck that you gave me. I love
oh my
this
God,
deck.
I totally forgot about that deck.
Yeah, we'll
I
have a
always gift. I
confessional
always, my
moment.
decks are all over the world. I gift decks everywhere.
when you first gave it to me, I was kind of like, oh, all right, like unicorn oracle. I don't know. I have my real cards. I wonder if I'll use that. And I like definitely then I judged them. I'm going to be honest. I judged
Judge
them.
my cards.
I did. And then I started using them and they were so on point, and like I was getting these patterns with them. Every morning I would pull one of them and like, wow, they really were very chatty. And I was like, look at me being skeptical. Of course, Becky wouldn't give me anything ridiculous.
I love it. I love it. Well,
I have to
before
burden.
we draw a card, I do want to make an announcement. If anybody out there is looking to go down the shaman path and do shaman training to learn how to do soul illuminations and soul retrievals and things like that, and looking, my friend at Ancient Rose, let me put her, she was on the show a long time ago, like a year ago. She is there she is, www.ancientrose.com. They are making arrangements for new trainings that'll happen in Murphy, North Carolina. So 4 times a year, you go to Murphy. I can't talk right now. Go to Murphy, North Carolina. For the in-depth training, and yeah. So if anybody's interested in expanding out, maybe getting a deeper connection to Pachamama and different traditions, give them a call and check them out. So.
Mm-hmm.
That is that.
So it was great. I always
Yeah.
think about that. Remember, she took us through that Meet Your Cosmic Parents meditation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think about them a lot. That's come up a lot for
Yeah.
me since then. That was beautiful.
Yes. And I also want to do a call out from me, because I just I don't
Mm-hmm.
do this very often. Anyhow, I've decided I'm going to go back doing my cosmic tune-ups. And people are saying, well, Becky, what is a cosmic tune-up? Wow. This is what a cosmic tune-up is. So I will channel a blueprinted poem for you that comes through, that kind of, and I find that they always are kind of around what you need to look at. And then also some kind of card reading or whatever, and then a sound to clear out. Mostly it's sound to clear out. So that's a cosmic tune-up. There's no time around it, but a max on an hour, so I'm going to start doing those. So if you're interested, you can contact me at RebeccaGregory.com. I don't even know where my little tag is, but anyhow, or through the show, because I'm going to start to do those to bring those on and start to do those again. So, and also, what else am I getting lined up for? And also, if you want a painting done, I'm doing blueprint, Lake Code blueprint paintings as well, like the one I did for Hillis. So, I just wanted to put that out there, that I need to start getting out there more. And so I'm opening up to receive again, and bring it in. And that's that. You have anything, Megan?
I love your paintings. I have that. Yeah. So, you had mentioned prior to us getting started about us improving on putting out our offerings and so on. I've been working for a long time on a website, which is an intention, but in this moment, my main offering I'm working with is combo. I'm here in Pittsburgh for the next couple months. After that, I'll spend the summer up in New England in Maine and be popping around a little bit around there. And so if anyone is interested in working in combo, that's what I'm good at. One of the things. I also have quite an arsenal of herbal tinctures that I have made on the various farms I've worked on, and dried herbs. So, if anyone is interested in anything of that nature, or herbalism sessions, I certainly do that work, and nutrition sessions and holistic. Some folks just want a short session of questions. How do I add some holistic avenues to my life? Best way to get in contact would be, I'd say, like Instagram. It's at Meg Digs Plants, MEG.
Can you type it in on banner at?
How do I type it in?
Can you type it in?
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. All of the
Okay, so
fancy things
what is
there.
it at? Or you could type it in the chat box. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can type it in there. It's at Meg Digs Plants. Yeah, if anyone's interested in any work with me, I got all my little tools, and reach out there. I think that should be in there now.
Is there any fun tinctures offhand that you have over there you could share?
Oh my goodness, I have so
I
many
know you have a
beautiful
lot. I've been to your apartment
tinctures.
before.
I do. I love milky oats. So I'm just getting back to tinctures because Easter was the last day. I did my 30 days of combo dieta and then extended it through Lent just as a personal challenge. So Easter ended my dieta. So I've been adding some tinctures back in. I am loving milky oats, which is beautiful for the nervous system. And ashwagandha is one of my favorites. I'm just absolutely itching. This is a test. I was thinking about this earlier today. If anyone has any boils and they want to test a remedy out, I had read in this old school herbalism book that tomato leaf tincture can be good for things of that nature, or where like something needs to break to alleviate pus or fluids. So that's one of my fun ones that I have. I also have a lot of Datura essence that I made on the Lionsgate portal of last year. So I actually have to bottle some of that up. That's one of my favorite little things I have over there. And ooh, let's see. Let's give one more. What other tinctures do I have over there? There's so many. Cleavers. Cleavers is a
Oh,
good one for
flavors.
right now. Keep that
Yeah,
lymph
very good.
going.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna take some cleavers as soon as we're done here. Now that I've said that.
Well, I'm glad I brought that up so you know to take your cleavers.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's like a whole new world again, being able to take tinctures. I have to sort of, I think it would be useful for me to sit and be like, oh, well, now that I have all my medicine back in front of me that I can utilize, what little protocol would I like to make? Because
Yeah.
I've forgotten that I can take them.
Awesome. Well, thank you for
Mm-hmm.
sharing. And Meg digs plants.
Meg Dick's plants.
Meg digs plants on Instagram. And you can find me at Rebecca Gregory and Ancient Rose if you'd like to sign up for a shaman class and learn the four directions and the way of the shaman. So all these fun things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Change your world today.
So this card, fly trap, the plant is, Venus flytrap, getting stuck in sticky situations. I don't particularly need to read the card on this because it basically just says, like, hey, watch out. There's a sticky situation abound, and you need to keep your awareness to you about how you're feeling about things, how things are feeling in your body, and, using the antenna of self to really. So yeah, that's in the air right now.
Yes, it is. I can totally relate to that. I think somebody's having problem with sound. Is it back? I don't know because I can hear us on our end, so I don't know.
Are we? Sound not working?
Sign language. I don't know. I asked, is it back? I
Oh,
told her to go out and go back in. I have sound. Do you have sound? I can hear you.
I hear everything, yeah, but uh-uh.
I don't know. Oh well.
That's why we all need to know sign language.
That's why I do light language.
Yeah.
Oh, what's funny about that? Oh, I want to tell something about. I know we're running here. Something about the show last week, but real quick, I want to show you. So here's the card that I pulled, which is very funny. Sisters of the Season,
Hmm.
cycles of growth, natural law, and divine order.
Mm-hmm.
So that like totally kind of goes with yours right now of where the chaos and what we need to move into because we're all in a new cycle. So it's like we're covering both avenues. You're like at what's happening, all the chaos, and going into that, and then where you're trapped and opening up to the new cycle of you and the growth that's happening.
I love your card, Sisters of the Seasons, right? We're in a season shift right now. So many of us
Exactly.
are starting to feel that spring energy and that and also that card is very aligned with everything we've been chatting about in terms of
Exactly.
surrender. Let this, new space open up without too much resistance.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What else do I want to say? Oh, real quick. So last week, did you watch the show afterwards? So that night, I wasn't. was I on it? No, I turned it on YouTube last night. And this is really funny. I just need to say it because it's really funny. I don't know. I think both of them are there now. It was very interesting because I went to look at the show after our show last week, and it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It was all distorted. Like
Oh,
there was lines running across it. Down below was all just messed up. The voices were coming through. Nothing was right. The whole entire show.
really?
Yes, and I sent Hillis a message, and I'm like, Hillis, the show's all jacked up. What's going on? And he sent me a message back next morning. He's like, "What are you talking about, Becky? It's fine." I went back in the next morning. It was completely fine.
Oh, interesting.
So remember Hillis last week talking about energies. Remember he said there was downloads coming in energy. So, but then I think there's two of them out there. So I don't know what's going on, but anyhow, so I think there's like the download alien one and us. So, see if you can find them. Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting because these crazy things that are happening with energy right now and just different changes. So.
I was thinking that when it just said that, the sound popped in and out, Claudia had watched one of the episodes and said, "Hey, the sound cut out for me about halfway through that. Does that happen for everyone else?" And I don't think it was happening for anyone else. So
Yeah, and
it seems to be an energy transmission aspect of some of the content, maybe, or
yeah,
people,
and I think
us.
yeah, and let me post this for you. And I also think too, maybe things are being blocked out for people, in their level to receive what's coming through,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's blocked out. So I don't know. There's interesting things that are fun to talk about. I always love to bring them out because this is what's happening in the world. Like just little interesting things like this are going on with frequencies and sounds, and so
The
we
sun alone.
oh gosh, don't even get me started with the sun as it's beaming down on me. So, um,
Ooh, I've been out in the sun. It's been so chatty. It's been so lovely and great. I just love that sun.
I know you do.
Man, whew, I need it. Bring me
You need
back
it.
quick.
Yeah, sun is good for you. So,
Hmm.
in that, I guess we'll get started on our tune-up. Did you want to do
Okay.
some light language tonight, or you want me to just do some sounds? Or
I want you to do some sounds,
okay, let
if
me
that
bring
feels
some up.
okay for you. I
Okay,
want to hear some of them.
some of them.
Hmm.
I know. Hold back online now. If you get a cosmic tune-up, I really go out there. So,
Oh, it's so good. Hmm.
okay, my dears, let's tap into the cosmos. So everybody, if you're driving, please don't, close your eyes or anything in this moment. But everybody else, you can get yourself relaxed as we move into these energies. Just take a deep breath in. I'm just going to ground myself real quick. So just breathe within yourself right now. Allow yourself to open to receive the energies that are coming through this transmission to you, to assist you for the new part of you that's coming through that you might be struggling with right now. So what I'm getting right now is just allow yourself to open to a space, to open your heart, to open your body, to receive the energies, but also to release all that's kind of stuck in the cellular memory of that, and also any quantum entanglements they say right now that's really happening right now. There's a lot of quantum entanglements that are happening that are releasing right now and pulling apart. That's why a lot of people are having problems right now, dealing with a lot of things because of those quantum entanglements. So that's what's coming through right now. So just take another deep breath in as the energy come through, and we begin this transmission. Take another deep breath in and put your hand on your heart and a hand on your stomach and bring yourself back home to you. Well, I gotta wait for you to come back, girl.
Well, my vision is blurry again. Woo! Every time. Gets me
So
every
that's a little mini cosmic tune-up. So yeah.
Woo! I
Woo!
can't see straight.
It's okay. They're giving you some
Wow.
new eyes, clearing out those filters you've been looking through.
Yeah,
Clear them out.
seriously. Holy moly. Wow. Um Dang, you're just I love it.
I love you so much. Thank you for
I love
joining me
you.
tonight. And everyone, thank you so much for joining Cosmic Insight and here with Megan doing the sister thing tonight. And
Mm-hmm.
Brother Hillis is having fun at his little concert. So next week we'll be back. And I appreciate you all. If you'd like to contribute to the show, we greatly appreciate it. You can see down below because so we can keep this going. And I think that's it. Do you have anything to say?
Go outside.
Yeah, go outside, enjoy nature. I
Go
remember.
outside and get fire and sunlight on the soles of your feet.
There you go. And
Yeah.
remember, don't limit yourself, create yourself, be the change in you. Until next time, everyone, mwah,
Bye.
keep on exploring.
Mm-hmm.